DeMeco Ryans' first game as head coach of the Texans that actually counts, and his most important announcement, as well as his expectations for CJ Stroud. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans and react here in the locker room.
Yeah, it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah.
Welcome to the locker room, number one source for Texans digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 610. That's 10 to 2 Central on the Odyssey app and on Sports Radio 610. If you're a Texans fan, appreciate you for coming through. If you're not, even better. This is the place to get the pulse of what's going on with the Houston Texans. And right now, we got a lot going on with the Texans and with DeMeco Ryans, who's going to be coaching his first game that actually counts. He addressed the media. He made perhaps the most important announcement of maybe the season, but definitely this week when it comes to how the logistics are going to work with the defense. We know DeMeco Ryans has the defensive background. We know the Texans have struggled at a record level on the defensive side of the rock. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not DeMeco will call the defense. We'll get to that announcement, but let's start with what people care the most about, and that's the quarterback. DeMeco Ryans' media availability started with him addressing what his expectations are for CJ Stroud.
The number one thing for me with a rookie quarterback is to not make it a big deal mentally. I think a lot of rookies come in and you can be consumed and overwhelmed with their job, but I think for any rookie, right, you have to have good help amongst those other guys who are out there with you, and it's being surrounded with good help. Don't make the game bigger than what it is. Go out and do what got you here, and that's playing, good football, making great decisions with the football, and that'll help you along the way.
And that's also going to have a lot to do with the coaching staff, right? With another one, and perhaps DeMeco's biggest decision of the offseason, which was Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick's going to have to make it. He's going to have to make it easy for CJ Stroud. So we'll see how that works out. But DeMeco is absolutely right on that. It's not just about the quarterback. It's about a lot of other things. What about the coach mindset? A rookie coach. So rookie quarterback. It's obvious what they're going through. Coach can only imagine. John McClain, who's going to join me today on In the Loop on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. John McClain asked the follow-up about, okay, we heard you talk about the quarterback. Let's take our eyes let's put our eyes on our own paper. What about a rookie coach?
Rookie head coach. Same thing, rookie head coach. Don't make anything up. Right? Trust your preparation. Right? Trust the process and the work that we put in, and let the guys go play.
He just seems really focused. DeMeco just really seems really focused on this whole thing. There's going to be growing pains, but he just looks the part of a coach. I don't know if there's going to be nerves for DeMeco Ryans. I don't think there's going to be a situation like with Bill O'Brien where you pee your pants in the biggest moment and you don't have a play in Kansas City, or you blow a gasket and your offense is never really performing near the top of the league. I just don't see that happening with DeMeco Ryans. But on the offensive side of the rock, there is, maybe some issues on the interior. We don't know who's going to play left guard. We don't know who's going to play center. Brooks Cabina asked DeMeco about that.
We're still working through the offensive line, and when we go out to game day, we'll have a good group out there and guys who are just tasked with just doing the job that's in front of them, right? Whoever that may be, right? We just want guys to be accountable to their teammates and do what's asked of them.
Describe what it's been like having to deal with the various injuries that have come up over the course of the game.
Injuries happen all the time in football, so you always have to be ready to adjust. It's never how you want it. It's never the same 53 guys. There's always injuries. There's always things you have to be ready to adapt and change with. So that's just normal NFL football. It happens every week. And for us, unfortunately, it's happened, sooner, right, before the start of the season. But it's something we have to deal with, and we're We're not whining about it. We're not complaining. We're going to push through. We're all professionals, and that's what guys just have to go play football.
And I just don't think the injury bug is as bad as we're making it out to be, because I think there were going to be struggles at left guard no matter what. We watched Kenyon Green play last year. We watched Kenyon Green play this year. So I thought there were going to be struggles at left guard regardless. I thought that was as much of a personnel thing as anything. And the center thing, that sucks. We'll see what happens, though, with Titus Howard. But there's a lot of teams on the Texans schedule. Baltimore's dealing with a little bit too. Injuries are a thing. I don't think it's as big of a thing as many people are making it out to be. Now, if Titus Howard misses the game, that's a big thing. Is that going to happen? Talk to him, Coach.
Where's Titus in his recovery?
Titus is still working day to day. We'll see where he ends up.
Coach, when you have two players coming from such great.
All right, that's the Titus. We'll skip ahead here. That's
Ball players coming.
Just kind of an Alabama question. I've been asked a while.
Will be able to play this week against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, we'll see. It's day to day, so we'll see.
We'll see. He's not going to give any update on Titus Howard. Y'all know how that goes. Please subscribe, like, right along. It is the Locker Room, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. We're reacting to DeMeco Ryans' media availability during game week. No speaking today. Tomorrow he's going to speak at 1, and then we're going to hear from the quarterback CJ Stroud at 1:15. So big day tomorrow for the Texans. Nick Caserio also going to speak exclusively. Be looking out for the video on that. And again, subscribe, like, right along. Appreciate you all for coming through inside the locker room. Let's hear DeMeco talking about not just the Titus Howard situation, but let's hear him talking about no film. I think this is an interesting thing. So Cody Stutes asked a question. Good for Stutes for asking a good question about the no film preparation. There's not going to be any film on this version of Baltimore's offense. And you've seen Lamar Jackson play in only one NFL offense. Now, you faced him in the past, but how do you prepare for that? I actually asked Jimmy Ward about that. I'll go in depth on that a little later on tonight during the live stream. But here's DeMeco Ryans talking about that dilemma and how exactly you handle that situation. And, oh, by the way, you didn't even get to see Lamar in the preseason.
Dig into some of the stuff that maybe the team has done before? Do you look at the offensive coordinator and where he's been? What kind of challenge is that with a guy that hasn't coached this version of this team in the NFL?
It's a challenge because you don't know what you're going to get. It's a lot of unknown, and that's every first game. There's a lot of unknown with the first game, in the NFL every year. So, you trust your technique, trust your fundamentals, trust our preparation of what we've been working on all through our training camp, right? And guys just have to be where they're supposed to be and playing as 11. And it's really, the first game is truly all about us, right? Offensively, defensively, especially, it's about us. If we do our job, everybody is playing together, then it'll take care of itself.
A little bit generic there, but you are kind of lost. We'll get a follow-up from DJ Bieneme in a second. But first, let's get DeMeco Ryans going a little bit hardo and minimizing the moment.
I like to typically defer to your players, but for you, in the game week, your first opportunity to
listen to this.
Especially, what's it like for you?
Listen to this.
Now have that opportunity.
It's funny.
Yeah, nothing's changed for me. Every preseason game, I've been there, done it before, right? And I'm not making it, just like I tell the rookies, I'm not making it a bigger deal than it is, right? I understand the job. We're tasked to go lead this group, lead the Houston Texans, and that's what I'll do, right? Lead it to the best of my ability, make sure our guys are prepared and ready to go.
At what point did you know you wanted to be a head coach?
All right, who cares?
My grandmother told me. And
who cares? John McClain asking, when did you know you want to be a head coach? You've had months to ask that silliness.
Every single day to make sure these men are their best at what they do.
You coached against Lamar Jackson. Well, you were on the staff in 2019 when the Niners played against Lamar. Held him to like about 100.
I love this question. This is DJ following up on Cody on the film study dilemma that the Texans are facing week 1.
5 yards passing, get over 100 yards rushing, but obviously that was a while ago, and obviously you want to picking off of Cody's question, going into a new offense. So what's that balance of one tapping into what he likes to do well, when he's paired with what you guys did back then, paired with the fact that he is also going to be in the offense. What's that balance like?
Yeah, it's a lot that you can get into when you talk about preparing for his team. How far do you want to go back to what the Ravens did? You have a new offensive coordinator. It's a lot, right? If you can go down any path you would like, right? But for me, we know Lamar is an athletic quarterback. Right? You know he can get loose, causes defense a lot of problems because of his athleticism. But he also can throw the ball, and from the looks of it, they've added a lot of explosive weapons on the offensive side at the receiver position to throw the ball more. So, we would think that they're going to throw the ball, but knowing the Ravens and their style, right, they want to run the ball. They want to be a physical football team. So I think it'll be a healthy mix of both.
Seriously, what would you do there, though? That's really interesting. Like, from a preparation standpoint, Bobby Slowick's got it kind of easy. He knows what the Ravens do. Like, of all the coordinators, Slowick is the only one who has it easy, right? Because Baltimore's going to run the same defense, same scheme, same players relatively. Even Baltimore's defense, they don't know what Slowick's offense is going to be. They don't know much about CJ Stroud. They do know that they're probably going to try to pick on the interior of the O-line, but DeMeco preparing for a new offense with Lamar Jackson, and then Lamar Jackson preparing for a new defense with a lot of new players. It's just it's crazy prep, and this is where coaches make the big bucks. It'll be interesting to see how DeMeco does that. Also, be interesting to see the state of the linebacker position with this, which is something else that DeMeco was asked about. No Blake Cashman, no Christian Harris practicing yesterday. A lot of times that's not a big deal. Wednesday's usually the day to look at with that. But here's DeMeco on that.
Being able to get loose, how would you assess your defense right now with Christian Harris, Blake Cashman, Jimmy Ward? Where would you say they are, and how prepared y'all are to address some of those things with that?
Yeah, we'll see on Sunday how prepared we are.
There you go. Little hardo there. Now, John Metchie, one of the best stories. Look, we talked about John Metchie, and there was a time where if John Metchie just went out there and touched his toes, that was considered success. But I talked to John Metchie at training camp. He joined us. We actually have a video posted that if you want to check it out. And I asked Metchie, at what point do you get tired of being kind of a feel-good story, and do we start saying, is John Metchie going to be able to ball? John said the time is now. And right now, it doesn't look like Metch is going to be ready to go fully at the start of the season. So what will the plan be with John Metchie? Could we see him on IR? How does that work? Here's his fellow Alabama Crimson Tide member, whatever the hell they call themselves, DeMeco Ryans, and his head coach talking about that.
Wow, before John Metchie really get back to himself, what can you share about the plans that you guys have put together to help John Metchie get to?
Yeah, we've been helping John as much as we can. I think for John, it's been a long time since he's played football. So he's been dedicated to the process of, putting the work in, whether it's on the side, getting reps with the team. Like, he's been dedicated to the process, and it just takes time. So with John, I think we're on the right track. With getting him out there, when that will be, we'll see.
And we'll see what happens. Now, this is where the most important piece of information came from the press conference. This was my boy Sean Bajani talking to DeMeco Ryans. Now, this was one of the most important things DeMeco was going to have to decide. In the offseason, the importance was, what offensive coordinator are you going to hire? Now, you know who that is. Are you going to call the defense? Now, there's a lot of debates. Do you want to be a walk-around head coach? Do you want to oversee the defense? Is there too much to do? Is it a tough balance? Here's DeMeco Ryans being asked that question from Sean Bajani, and we're going to get the follow-up from Brooks Cabina, too.
Goes after kind of thinking back how everything went this preseason. Do you still plan on doing that as you and Macker?
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
What follow-up, please?
If there's anything that keeps you up at night heading into
We don't need to know about his sleep. Let's follow up that defensive thing. Brooks Cabina did that. So we'll hear Brooks Cabina's follow-up. He said nothing has changed, although both of them have called defense at certain points.
Playing with that enthusiasm and fire
after we get a sleep schedule.
Fire that I truly believe in that ignites the team.
We'll take these last two, Brooks and John.
To clarify, Matt's calling play Sunday defensively.
No, I said no. I said nothing has changed from when I told you guys that I would call plays. Nothing has changed.
All right, so there we go. DeMeco Ryans will be calling the defense. A lot of people love that because he's really good at it. Will be interesting to see how he balances it, and it's going to be growing pains. That's DeMeco Ryans. Game week, baby. Can't believe we're saying it, but it is here. Game week. We're a handful of days away. DeMeco Ryans is in town. Now we're going to get to see him actually coach games, and perhaps the honeymoon phase will be over. But you're going to have a rookie quarterback, rookie coach going to be calling defense. It's going to be fun to actually talk about games. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknowns that we'll try to get to the bottom of throughout the week. Please like, subscribe, ride along. No matter what happens with the Texans, you've come to get the pulse of it. You've come to the right place. And whether DeMeco Ryans was going to call the defense or not, whether the Texans are going to be able to stop Lamar Jackson or not, when it comes to this Texans digital game, we're all in this together. Let's get it. Game week.
Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not 2 plus.